Dear old Donald Trump likes to think he's the king of political trolling, but Gavin Newsom is proving to be one opponent who's up for the challenge. And in this breaking story, CNN has dropped a stunning report that shows just how deep Newsom is cutting Trump with, get this, his MAGA-style messaging. I have the full breakdown for you next. Two trending stories caught my eye today, and both are about the psyche of the American voters during this reign of Trump terror, and they dovetail very nicely. I'll share the CNN story with you in just a minute, but first, have a look at this report by MSNBC that suggests Democrats are in the midst of, hold on to your hats, a MAGA makeover.
So, Jim, we kind of walked right into your column. Let's read from it. It's titled The Rising Democratic MAGA Movement. You write Democrats needing, quote, their own version of a populist, anti-establishment, MAGA-like makeover. So what does that look like, Jim?
Yeah, it looks like what you were just talking about with Gavin Newsom, right? Trying to adopt a lot of the techniques that you saw from Trump that you've seen from MAGA. Get on social media, be a warrior, curse a lot, try to have a lot of edge, insert yourself into the news cycle. I think the bigger part, though, is what you've seen happening in New York, what you've seen happen in Minneapolis, the popularity of Bernie Sanders, the number of people turning out for AOC events, that right now the momentum in the party is very much for the very progressive wing of the Democratic Party, which is not that much of a shock, but I think is probably problematic in the off-year elections for Democrats. It's just not where the vast majority of the country seems to be. I think it's one of the reasons that the Democratic brand overall is low.
Hillary Clinton is known for saying when they go low, we go high, but lately the Democrats have been stuck in low gear. So is a different kind of message and messenger the solution? Let's continue with MSNBC, and then I'll have the Gavin Newsom stunner.
You're right that the Democrats who are connecting and who are breaking through tend to be the progressive wing. Now, message always has a lot to do with messenger, and some of the progressives who have broken through are charismatic, talented politicians. Whether or not you believe their views are mainstream, they're good at politics, and they're getting the message through. I guess the second thing I would say is that one thing I believe I have learned in the Donald Trump era is that the labels that we use, progressive, moderate, conservative, paleo-conservative, MAGA, whatever, those labels are fungible. Those labels don't necessarily apply anymore. So there is a lot that progressives are saying that may really connect with a lot of voters whom you would not think of as progressive. Now, there are things that progressives say that probably don't connect with those voters, but I think we're either we need some different labels or we need to just de-emphasize the labels and kind of look at what the message is, how it's connecting.
And now for the man of the moment who is connecting, much to the chagrin of Donald J. Trump. In fact, CNN is measuring the level of Gavin Newsom's connection.
Remember Trump's "Long live the king"? Well, Newsom seems to be challenging him to that throne, donning his very own crown. What about Pope Trump? Newsom posted this bizarre AI image that appears to show an angelic Hulk Hogan and Tucker Carlson blessing him. And who can forget the muscular Trump Skywalker? Well, this AI version of jacked Gavin would like a word. Now, Newsom has been taking heat for these posts, including from some Fox News anchors.
You have to stop it with the Twitter thing. I don't know where his wife is. If I were his wife, I would say, "What? You are making a fool of yourself. Stop it."
Newsom didn't take her advice, but he did give Dana Perino a Trump-style nickname, writing, quote, "Dana Ding Dong Perino, never heard of her until today, is melting down because of me, Gavin C. Newsom. Fox hates that I am America's most favorite governor." Now, the giggles you heard earlier coming from the chief data analyst, Harry Enton, who joins us now. The key question, has this actually been working for Newsom?
Yeah, I think it absolutely has been working in terms of generating attention, which is what he's trying to do, right? I mean, take a look here. Let's take a look right at the @GovPress office followers on X. That's, of course, where you get those sort of the account where Newsom posts those Trump-style mocking types of tweets. Get this. That account, get this, up 450% in terms of the number of followers since mid-June. And it's not just on Twitter. X, where where Newsom is gaining. Even on TikTok and Instagram, his followers are up over 1 million since January alone. My goodness gracious. And more than that, Laura, more than that, what about Google? What about those Google searches for him? Get this, daily Google searches for Gavin Newsom up like a rocket. What are we talking about? Since June 1, up 1,300%. Compared to August 1st, look at that, up 500%. So the bottom line is, in politics, especially if you're thinking of entering in 2028, it's all about generating attention. And so far, Gavin Newsom has done a good job at generating attention.
The Democrats want it.
Do Democrats want it? Okay. Do Democrats want it? This, I think, is the trend line that I think says it all. Democrats want their leaders to what? Try to stop the GOP or work with the GOP? You go back to 2017, you see here, work with the GOP took the cake at 74% compared to just 23% who said to try and stop the GOP. But now I'm going to come over to your side of the screen, Laura. Look at 2025. I'm coming as close as I can. 57% say they want the Democratic leaders to try and stop the GOP compared to just 42% who say they want them to work with the GOP. That is a major shift. So no wonder Gavin Newsom, he's looking at this polling. He's saying, I can generate attention. This is where the Democratic base is. And right now he seems to be following the Democratic base.
Why? For 2028?
For 2028. That is exactly why. And I think the question is it working? Is it working? Well, let's take a look at the betting markets. I think this gives away so much of it. Okay, the chance of being the 2028 Democratic nominee, according to the prediction markets. Look at where we were on June 1st. We basically had a clown car for first. Newsom, AOC, Buttigieg, 11%, 10%, 8%. But look at where we are now. Look at this. Look who's jumped up all the way up to 24% chance, about a 1 in 4 chance of getting the nomination. Gavin Newsom. AOC staying pretty steady at 13%. And then, of course, we have Pete Buttigieg, who has stayed absolutely steady at 8%. So at least at this particular point, the prediction markets are saying, yes, this strategy is paying off. Of course, the key question is, will this actually work when you're trying to actually, votes are being cast and
Now, a fair question might be, is Gavin Newsom peaking too soon? I don't know about that, but I do know he is rewriting the Democrat playbook. While Schumer, Jeffries, and the rest of the Democrat establishment continue to flounder in mounting an effective defense against Trump, Newsom is fighting fire with fire, and he's winning the race for media and social media attention. And that's not a new playbook, it's the Trump playbook. After all, it was the Donald who wrecked the Republican establishment by being that guy who openly trolled others, and he acted more like a drunk uncle than a polished politician. He won not by trying to be all things to all people, but by being polarizing. He separated the people who liked him from the people who didn't, fed them more of what they wanted, and the rest is history. And here's the kicker. Trump can't stand the success that Newsom is having. For years, he relied on being the most obnoxious voice in the room and the one who dominated every news cycle. But Newsom is showing how Democrats can flip the script, troll the troll, and actually beat him at his own game. And now it's your turn. Do you agree that Newsom is the Democrat frontrunner for 2028, or do you have your eye on someone else? Please comment below, and let's continue to occupy democracy together.
I hate Occupy Democrats.